We are out at one of the hottest and newest communities today, and we're about to check out the amazing features in this model right behind me. We're also going to discuss who the builder is, why this is one of the hottest and newest neighborhoods in Jacksonville, and just why you may want to look at buying in this neighborhood. So that being said, let's get into a walkthrough of this beautiful model right now. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this walkthrough, and I can't wait to go over this home with you guys and where we're at today. But this specific floor plan, it's one that is timeless. It's one that we've done quite a few times on this channel, and it's because it has a lot of great aspects with it, such as this nice front porch / front walkway when you come in. This is a home that you are going to have pavers for your front porch, front walkway. You're going to have hardy board as well. And some of these things may be upgrades, they may be standards, but in general, it's good to see what you get with a builder like this. In addition, we have our 8-foot front door. It does have that glass insert, but that glass is more of a non-see-through glass, so lets light in, but keeps privacy. And then it's gonna take us into the house. So as you can see when we come in, nice, light, bright feel. We have those nice tall ceilings, crown molding throughout, smooth walls, which definitely do make a difference. And then you'll notice here too, this flooring that they put in is a very nice, grain, wood grain kind of look to it. Lighter colors, and that we don't see, we start to see more often, but we didn't used to see as much. So I do like, seeing that a good bit. And then it's gonna take us to our first bedroom up here. So this first bedroom, as you can see, we do get some good natural light. It's a good size overall. And again, this flooring, as mentioned, it could be more of a laminate material, could be more of a vinyl material. It's crazy how this flooring's kind of come around as far as you really do have quite a few different options nowadays when it comes to your flooring choices. And it has a great feel to it too, and it's super quiet. But again, with this bedroom, it's a good size. It's great for guests. Maybe if you have an older child, a teenager, you could put them down here, although it is right next to the front door, so pros and cons. But again, I do like the look of it overall. And then with the closet, it is a fairly standard sized closet, but one thing I like the builder did here is they did do the double doors or French door effect, so you don't have the pesky bifolds that constantly break. So it's just a nice attention to detail that really stands apart when you're actually living in the house, not just obviously for show, like some of the other aspects sometimes you see with these models. And again, if you want to know where we're at today, who the builder is, what the floor plan is, I will discuss that later on in this video. If you don't want to wait, give me a call, a text, an email. Happy to help answer any questions, as I have worked with this builder multiple times and absolutely love what they do with their homes. Then we have our first bathroom downstairs. So this can be more of your guest bath. Again, things that I love is we do have the lighter colored quartz to go with the white cabinets, so a little bit of a white on white effect. Allows some of the other features of this bathroom to really stand out, such as this tile flooring. It's more of a gray tile with some white accents. And then also we do have our walk-in shower down here. And this walk-in shower, has that seamless glass enclosure, which is just super sleek, super modern. They have the step down here to kind of keep all that water inside the shower, which is very important. You don't want to have too much water coming out of it, creating any sort of slippage potentially with your bathroom. But then also I do love the fact that they did tile to the ceiling. They still continue some of that more white elements with the tile for the wall and the floors, but they do give us some green bands as well to give us a pop of color and make those ribbons or bands really stand out as well. So I do love to see that from a builder as well. So moving forward throughout this floor plan, the next area we're going to look at is this designated office. Now, this office is a great size space. Could you potentially make this a bedroom? Maybe you could, but what's really nice about the space is, this office kind of comes the way it's designed, but also if you did want to have, say, French doors in here, that is something you could do with the builder. And that's the thing that I do like, is when you have some options there. So to be able to pick and choose what's most important for you is always a big benefit if you're going to build with the builder. Or sometimes if you don't have the time to wait, the builder may have already picked it for you, but it may be something that you are looking for anyways. So it saves you time and hassle of having to pick and choose all the finishes, which sounds good in theory, but sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge going to the design center and everything like that. Now here on the other end, we are gonna have our mudroom area. So we do have a little bit of a seating area. We have a backpack rack right here as well. This would be your typical door to go to your 2-car garage, although they are using it as a sales center at this time, so it doesn't go anywhere. But again, these are just things that you can kind of do if you feel like you want them, but you can do it with the builder, you can do it after the builder. That's something that can help determine with you to figure out what makes the most sense to do now versus later. Now off of our garage, we do have our laundry room. So we do have our washer dryer. It has the space for a side-by-side. You can also do a stackable if you want to be able to, add some more custom closet options or pantry options or cabinet options. But in general, it's a nice sleek design with the tile that they chose. I do really like that. So it's just things that just make a lot of sense, when you are looking at a home, not necessarily just to live in, but also to enjoy. Now, moving right along, we are now not going to go up to the second story yet. We're actually going to check out the space underneath the stairwell. So what I love about this is because of the way the stairs are done, you actually do have space all the way in the back that does wrap around. Something that you don't always get, but when you do live here in Jacksonville, it's important to know that you typically will need more storage. Maybe not at first, but over time. So to have that's super important. So obviously we're gonna get to the kitchen in a second, but let's go upstairs now. All right, so now that we're upstairs, one thing I love about what the builder did here, first of all, you have a beautiful view down below of your dining room. So it's kind of like a crisscross with the stairwell. So I actually like when they do the stairs like that because it's not just a straight up and down. Kind of gives you more depth with it. Really makes it stand out in my opinion when you're coming up to your second story. What I do like about what they did up here is we do have this nice large open loft. And this loft gives you so many different uses. So you can make it a game room for the kids. It can really be anything for the kids in general, or you just make it an additional living space for you and your family, depending on what your needs are. But we do have tons of natural light up here, which I absolutely love. We still do have 9-foot ceilings up here, which is not always a guarantee. Sometimes you have to go to 8-foot ceilings when you go to your second story. It just depends on the layout, depends on the structure, depends on how high the trusses are, on what you can kind of get out of that. In addition, we do our first bathroom up here. So this, not first bathroom, but this is our bathroom upstairs. So this bathroom obviously has the single vanity. They did some nice white cabinets to go with our lighter colored countertop, which is a quartz countertop. Just a very clean look through and through. They finished it off with some nice wood look tile floors. And then the tile for the shower is a really nice clean pattern. A couple things I love about it is, again, it gave us this accent band across to really give a little bit of a pop. Things that I would like to see more of those, again, that tile go up to the ceiling. Now, just because they didn't do it here in the model doesn't mean you can't do it in general. What it does tell you is if you want that tile up to the ceiling, David Weekley is going to make that an upgrade rather than a standard for some of their additional bathrooms. So again, if you want to know what that upgrade could cost, you have to just reach out to me. We'll go over all of that in detail. Because if I don't know the answer to that, I know who to go to get you the answer as well. Then we come to our first bedroom upstairs, and this bedroom is not what you're used to seeing, right? Well, that's because this bedroom is designed to show you quite a bit of different things that David Weekley does as a builder. One of which, though, as you come over here, is actually where they left this attic space open, so you can see that they actually did spray foam. And you may not be able to see, but maybe you can, but they spray foamed the whole attic space of this specific floor plan, the specific model. And that's because in this community, this is one of the few communities that David Weekley is doing this. In this community, they are actually doing spray foam installation as a standard when you buy a home in their community. In addition, we do have a nice sized closet here as well. So again, for what would typically be one of your top 2 bedrooms upstairs, you do have that good sized closet. Then we come to our second bedroom, and this bedroom up here is actually really great in size. I mean, this is a very large bedroom. I mean, some house I go to, sometimes the primary is this size. So to have this size of a space for your kids, for guests, I mean, to have so much natural light too with this, you can't go wrong. So I absolutely love what I see here. Maybe not so much the pink. I mean, I'm more of a blue person myself, but obviously, it's a great size space. They still do the upgrade baseboards up here. They do have some trim around the windows, which could be an upgrade, could be a standard. Just reach out to me to find that out. And then this closet, as you see, it's currently being used for AC purposes for the sales center. but this would normally be a standard closet, for, whoever is occupying the space. So similar in size to the bedroom that we were just in. Again, the reason there's AC in there though is because they do utilize the garage, as I've already mentioned, in their model as their sales center. Also, we do have smooth walls, which, the smooth walls throughout the home is a nice bonus. Now, whether that's an upgrade or standard, you have to reach out to me to find out. But the smooth walls make a huge difference, whereas a lot of times builders may use texture walls nowadays, the smooth walls just have a nicer look through and through. So that's gonna really do it for our upstairs area, but let's now head downstairs and continue through the rest of the home. And remember to stay tuned as we go over the price and incentives of this home moving forward. All right, so now that we're back downstairs, as you can see, we have a nice, 6-seater dining room table right here. Those tall ceilings that we have because of the stairwell next to it really make the space feel that much larger. And then obviously having the windows, the wall windows here, bring a lot of natural light in, really makes it feel light and bright, really maximizes, again, that space as well. But now let's get to the area that you probably really want to see more of, which is the kitchen. So with this kitchen, what I love is the fact that you have a nice large island here. I also like the fact that they did those, white, lighter colored quartz countertops. You do have some movement in them, which is kind of a nice feature as well. You don't always get with quartz. You also have a nice deep sink, all stainless steel appliances. And again, with the back wall of the kitchen, again, same cabinets, same countertops, but where you get that pop of color is actually gonna be with that backsplash. And I absolutely love this kind of darker navy blue backsplash. Just really pops at you, offsets too really nicely with the wallpaper that we'll see in just a moment. And then they did do a two-tone cabinet package, but they did uppers with white, whereas the lowers have more of those brown tones. So it really offsets really nicely, kind of ties in the countertops with the cabinets. And they did upgrade it too to where we do have the additional cabinetry up top with the glass inserts to really make it more of a focal point for when people come into the home. In addition, we have our microwave oven combo, we have our fridge over there, and then we do have our pantry as well, which is deeper than you would think when you're looking at it from the outside. So again, great size space overall. So moving forward though, we now get to the living room. Now with the living room, it's a great size. You already saw bits and pieces of it throughout this video, but I love what I see with it just because it's a nice open floor plan, it's a nice open layout. And also it's a great size space, so you could do one couch, you could do multiple couches, there's different ways you could design it, and you still feel like you're still a part of everything. So it's not super closed off, which maybe that's something you'd want, maybe it's not. But again, if you want to know more or figure out more on whether floor plans may give you this, give me a call, text, and email, as I'm happy to help answer any questions I can for you on that. But a couple things the builder did here is they do have tons of recessed lighting. They also have the surround sound speakers, that crown molding as well. Some of these things are going to be upgrades. So again, that's the thing about these models, they want to show you that maximized effect of what you could do. But again, where that base price is, which we'll discuss just shortly, and where the price of a home like this would be, you could be somewhere in the middle there depending on what you want in your home. And as mentioned, this wallpaper is actually a very cool, different wallpaper that we don't see very often. I do like that design. It's very unique in its sense. It has some whites, has some turquoise. I like the turquoise because it kind of gives me that whole Jaguars effect with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the football team here, which again, when you move here, you may end up becoming a Jags fan, even though we're not great, we still support our team. But that being said, let's now check out the primary. All right, now we're gonna come into this primary bedroom, and there's some things I absolutely love about this primary. First and foremost, we have beautiful, amazing natural light coming in through the back with the double windows. We also have here our tray ceiling, but what they really did to really maximize the look of this is not only do we have the tray, which does give us extra ceiling height, makes the space feel larger, but they did do that wood inlay with the ceiling as well to really finish it off. And it's things like that that I do love when builders do, because it just gives you an idea of whether if you're looking to buy a home or if you're looking just to remodel your current home, it gives you ideas of what you could do with it if you desired. But at the same time, maybe you don't want to spend the money on doing it yourself. Maybe just buy the home and have the builder do it all for you. Then it takes us to our primary bathroom, where we're gonna have our double vanities with tons of countertop space. I do love the contrast of the white countertops with these quartz compared to the brown cabinets. It just has a nice look and feel overall, and it really allows the cabinets to shine, in my opinion. So when you have the tile floor that he shows here, which is a very sleek, simplistic tile to match with the countertops, it just really gives you a nice contrast of your whites and your browns. It allows the finishes to really stand out. Then we come to our primary shower. As you see here, it's a step down shower. And I actually like how this builder does this. One thing about this builder is they're very notorious for kind of doing their shower design like this. In the sense of once you've seen it once, you kind of see it throughout a lot of their different floor plans. But I personally love it. It's kind of a timeless layout. And again, as you can see here, they did the tile shower up to the ceiling. And they finished it off with maybe a square orange pattern, which I think is very unique. It's very different. And it really does, that almost like salmony orange color really does stand out. But it's an awesome, large size shower. They continued that floor tile as the wall tile in this space as well. You do still have the transom window to get some natural light in here. And again, they only have one shower head in here, but I guarantee you they do have different options to where if you wanted a rain head or maybe even a second head, that's something that they would definitely entertain. We also have our linen closet and our water closet on each side, which then takes us into our primary closet. Now this primary closet, as you can tell, it's a very good size. That's one thing about this floor plan that I love is the primary bedroom, bathroom, closet all give you a lot of room to work with and nothing feels too small. Part of that is with that taller ceiling height, but in general, there's a lot of usable space, a lot of ways you can kind of work the space to really maximize what you do with it. Obviously here, the builder shows you what the standard is, which is just your wire storage, wire racks. But again, if you want a custom closet, it's something you could definitely do at some point with this specific floor plan. So I do love that aspect as well. But now let's go outside and check out that backyard because I do absolutely love it. And again, we will go over where we're at today and just why you want to know, why this is one of the hottest communities currently here in Jacksonville. All right, so now let's check out this backyard. So right away, I love the accordion doors that they have with the sliders, where they open up both ways. You don't see that too often, and so it really just kind of gives it more of a upgraded look and feel without necessarily being more of an upgrade per se. So starting off, we come out to our back patio or back porch. What I love is this is all gonna be a pavered back porch. It is an upgrade, but again, as you can see, something that you should highly consider doing if you're going to extend your back porch like this because it just gives you more usable space and really does give it a more complete look as it matches the front porch and walkway as well. In addition, we have our gas fireplace up back here, or fire pit. So again, for those months that it's kind of cooler out, it's a great area to be able to hang out with some friends or family and just really be able to enjoy the cooler air while still having a bit of a fire going to kind of keep things, warmer, which doesn't happen too often, but it's nice that when it does, you still can, utilize your back porch area. In addition, this is a $20,000 metal pergola that the builder did do as an upgrade on their model. Maybe not something you would do with yours, but if you did, at least now you have an idea generally of what the cost would be. But again, it does give you some additional protection, gives it also a nice aesthetic as well. As we then move to our outdoor seating area, which again, maybe it's not what you'd want, but it's cool to see what you could do if you wanted to utilize the space that way. So that's the cool thing about sometimes when you see these models, it kind of gives you an idea of things you could do if you wanted to. And this is all additional space. So this is not part of the normal roof line. It is definitely an upgrade to extend your back patio this far out. But if you don't want to do those upgrades, you could leave it the way it's designed as per the base plan, which does give you still a great usable back porch that's all covered. You could screen this in as well if you wanted to, so you have some options there. But then what they did too is they gave us a nice half wall here to give us some privacy from our neighbor. And then we do also have our outdoor kitchen, so we have our gas grill. We have a lot of prep space or countertop space here with the quartz or granite countertops. We do have our mini fridge. We have some storage. We have our sink as well. And then a little seating area here as well if you needed it. As you can see too behind me, we do have some sliders back there as well. So you have multiple access points to get to your backyard, which is a nice feature to have. So again, that's gonna kind of wrap up this walkthrough. But now let's go over where we're at today, who the builder is, but really what you wanna know, which is what's the price of this house, what incentives are there, and really, what all does this house have to offer? So let's get into that right now. All right, that's gonna wrap up the walkthrough of this beautiful model home. So there's a lot of things that I absolutely love about this house. And if there's things that you like too, I'd love to know what it was that you liked most from this walkthrough. So feel free to drop that in the comments section. I always like to know what people kind of gravitate towards, when I'm, showing off these beautiful homes. But ultimately, the reason why they are so beautiful is because these are models. They're supposed to be that way. But they're to give you an idea of what you can get in some of the newest and hottest communities here in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, the community we're in today is the Everrange community, which is that next big master plan community here in the Jacksonville, Florida area. So Everrange, it is built by the same group who built Nocatee and E-Town. So if you're familiar with those communities, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about here, but they really take a lot of pride in developing a very family-centric community and really making it a place where people really gravitate towards, whether if it's for the schools or the location or the nature element with it. There's always different factors that play a big role in the development of these communities for this developer. But also the developer tends to partner with a lot of great builders in these communities. So the builders that you'll see in a lot of these communities, especially here in Everrange, do a great job when it comes to the development or when it comes to the building of the home that you may end up in as you make your move here to Jacksonville, Florida. So ultimately, there's a lot of pride in who they work with, and there's a lot of pride in the builders themselves that are in here. So I do appreciate that as a realtor, because again, when you're working with a builder and you're working with a realtor, it's important to have the right group in place to make sure that you get the best product you can at the end of the day. Because again, it really is a team effort, and we always try to make sure that everyone is taken care of. And when a builder also looks at it that way, we do appreciate that as well. But with the Everrange community, this is, like I said, that next big community. It's located right here off of US 1 or Phillips Highway. It's going to put us about 15-20 minutes away from the St. John's Town Center, which is really that hub of Jacksonville. As I mentioned before, you may become a Jaguars fan. Well, if you want to go to the Jags games once the new stadium's done, again, we're probably about 25-30 minutes away from the stadium. And then again, if you're moving to Jacksonville, if you're moving to Florida, it's probably because you want to be out in nature. You want to be maybe at the beach. Well, to get to any of our beaches here, you are probably looking about 20-25 minutes, to get to any of the main beaches here, whether it's Jack's Beach, Michler's Beach, Neptune Beach, whatever the case may be. So we are very conveniently located for all those things. In addition, being in Jacksonville, you're only a couple of hours away from Orlando, 5 hours or so away from Miami, 3 to 4 hours away from Tampa, 2 or so from Savannah, and say 6 or so from Atlanta. So again, if you want to make weekend trips or week trips, with your friends, with your family, to go visit some of those other cities, whether it's for the parks or for the history or just for the city dynamic itself, but you don't want to pay to live in those cities, we are very conveniently located for that as well here in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's why we see a lot of people that tend to move here. But in general, here in Everrange, this is actually a specific neighborhood within Everrange called Mariposa. And Mariposa has 6 builders, one of which is the builder of this model we're in today, which is David Weekley Homes. Now, David Weekley Homes is a national home builder, and they do an amazing job with their attention to detail, but also in the client experience. And so they are very big on making sure that you're happy at the end of the day. And a lot of times they will go above and beyond for the buyers that they work with, the consumers that buy their homes. And it's a big reason why a lot of times the site agents with David Weekley, they themselves typically will live in and they will buy and rebuy David Weekley Homes as well, because they themselves know just how amazing the company they work for is. And so when you see a site agent, or when you see multiple site agents, or just multiple people for a builder that do buy their own homes, that does tell you a lot as far as how they truly feel about their homes themselves. So ultimately, I actually like seeing that. It's those little details that do go quite a long way when it comes to determining which builder is the right fit for you and your family. But as far as for this floor plan today, we are in the Sawmill floor plan. This is one of their key floor plans that we have actually seen quite a few times on this channel, but I always like to see the different variations that they do with them with some of their different design center finishes. And just because you've seen one doesn't mean you've seen them all. So it's always good to kind of see how they change over time as well. But this Sawmill floor plan is a 2-story floor plan on a 50-foot wide lot. Right this second, David Weekley, had about 21 lots for sale. They still have, a handful of them. But in general, if you want to be able to build on your own lot, they can do that. Or if you want to buy one of their inventory homes because you don't want to deal with picking out structural or design finishes, or you don't have the time to do that, they will always have some of those as well. The only way you'll know more about that though is if you reach out to me with a call, a text, and email. But again, it's a 2-story floor plan. It's about 76 square feet generally. There is some more or less you can get there depending on structural finishes. But it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath floor plan with a 2-car garage, as you saw today. Now you didn't see the garage because it's their sales center, but it is there. You can trust me. And the base price on this is subject to change. So again, this will change over time. What is today may not be what it is tomorrow or the next day. But currently, the base plan on this specific floor plan is $735,000. Now, when you start to factor in lot premium, when you start factoring in structural finishes, design center finishes, you could end up in the high 7s, low to mid 8s. The model, the way it's set up currently, you're probably looking closer to those high 8s, low 9s potentially. Again, there's no real set price yet for that, but in general, it gives you an idea of what you can get for an amazing price here in the Mariposa neighborhood. And there's more, because with the weekly, you also do get some great incentives to work with. Keep in mind, those are also always subject to change. But those incentives, they will vary, but in general, if you use their preferred lender, which is Grace Lending, you actually can get a 4.99% interest rate at this moment. Again, at this moment, subject to change. And they're also giving $20,000 of flex cash used for your closing cost or used for any sort of other upgrades or additional items you may want or ask for when you are buying an inventory home with them, or if you go to a design center, if you're building with them. So some great stuff there as well to work with. So again, you have a lot of options at your disposal with agents, with real estate agents, with builders. But again, if you want someone who's going to be there in your corner to be able to help, work with you through the process, and who has great relationships with some of the builders throughout Jacksonville, I can be your guy. All you have to do is give me a call, text, email. It's going to be on the screen. It's super simple. Just, all you have to do is just give me a call. Or again, if you want to schedule time for us to meet face-to-face or through Zoom, in the description of this video will be a link to my calendar where you can set up a time for us to meet one-on-one to go over any questions you may have about your potential move here to the Jacksonville, Northeast Florida area. With that being said, we'll see you on the next one.